Hello, and thank you again for joining me in Annie Stories. Today, I will be reading a tale of Japanese origin that had been retold by Teresa Pierce Williston. Without further ado, let us begin our journey of Japanese tales. The Mirror of Matsuyama. In Matsuyama, there lived a man, his wife, and their little daughter. They loved each other very much and were very happy together. One day, the man came home very sad. He had received a message from the emperor, which said he must take a journey to far-off Tokyo. They had no horses, and in those days there were no railroads in Japan. The man knew that he must walk the whole distance. It was not the long walk that he had minded, however. It was because it would take him many days from home. Still, he must obey his emperor, so he made ready to start. His wife was very sorry that he must go, and yet a little proud, too, for no one else in the village had ever taken so long a journey. She and the baby walked with him down to the turn in the road. There they stood and watched him through their tears as he followed the path up through the pines on the mountainside. At last, no larger than a speck, he disappeared behind the hills. Then they went home to await his return. For 3 long weeks they waited. Each day they spoke of him and counted the days until they should see his dear face again. At last the time came. They walked down to the turn in the road to wait for his coming. Up on the mountainside, someone was walking toward them. As he came nearer, they could see that it was the one for whom they waited. The good wife could scarcely believe that her husband was indeed safe home again. The baby girl laughed and clapped her hands to see the toys he brought her. There was a tiny image of Usume, the laughter-loving goddess. Next came a little red monkey of cotton with a blue head. When she pressed the spring, he ran to the top of the rod. Oh, how wonderful was the third gift! It was a tombo, or dragonfly. When she first looked at it, she saw only a piece of wood shaped like a T. The crosspiece was painted with different bright colors, but the queer thing, when her father twirled it between his fingers, would rise in the air, dipping and hovering like a real dragonfly. Last, of course, there was a ninghyo, or doll, with a sweet face, slanting eyes, and such wonderful hair. Her name was Ohina-san. He told of the feast of the dead, which he had seen in Tokyo. He told of the beautiful lanterns, the lanterns of the dead, and the pine torches burning before each house. He told of the tiny boats made of barley straw and filled with food that are set floating away on the river, bearing 2 tiny lanterns to guide them to the land of the dead. At last her husband handed the wife a small white box. "Tell me what you see inside," he said. She opened it and took out something round and bright. On one side were buds and flowers of frosted silver. The other side, at first, looked as clear and bright as a pool of water. When she moved it a little, she saw in it a most beautiful woman. "Oh, what a beautiful picture!" she cried. "It is of a woman, and she seems to be smiling and talking just as I am. She has on a blue dress, just like mine, too. How strange!" Then her husband laughed and said, "That is a mirror. It is yourself you see reflected in it. All the women in Tokyo have them." The wife was delighted with her present and looked at it very often. She liked to see the smiling red lips, the laughing eyes, and beautiful dark hair. After a while, she said to herself, "How foolish this is of me to sit and gaze at myself in this mirror. I am not more beautiful than other women. How much better for me to enjoy others' beauty and forget my own face." I shall only remember that it must always be happy and smiling, or it will make no one else happy. I do not wish any cross or angry look of mine to make anyone sad." She put the mirror carefully away in its box. Only twice in a year she looked at it. Then it was to see if her face was still such as would make others happy. The years passed by in their sweet and simple life, until the baby had grown to be a big girl. Her Ninghyo, her Tombo, the image of Usume, even the cotton monkey were put carefully away for her own children. This girl was the very image of her mother. She was just as sweet and loving, just as kind and helpful. One day, her mother became very ill. Although the girl and her father did all they could for her, she grew worse and worse. At last she knew that she must die, so she called her daughter to her and said, "My child, I know that I must soon leave you, but I wish to leave something with you in my place. Open this box and see what you find in it." The girl opened the box and looked for the first time in a mirror. "Oh, mother dear," she cried, "I see you here, not thin and pale as you are now, but happy and smiling as you have always been." Then her mother said, "When I am gone, will you look in this every morning and every night? If anything troubles you, tell me about it. Always try to do right so that you will see only happiness here." Every morning when the sun rose and the birds began to twitter and sing, the girl rose and looked in her mirror. Then she saw the bright, happy face that she remembered as her mother's. Every evening, when the shadows fell and the birds were asleep, she looked again. She told it all that had happened during the day. When it had been a happy day, the face smiled back at her. When she was sad, the face looked sad too. She was very careful not to do anything unkind, for she knew how sad the face would be then. So each day she grew more kind and loving, and more like the mother whose face she saw each day and loved. The end. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed this short tale with me. Stay tuned for another one tomorrow. Goodbye for now, and see you again in my next video.